I think the Asia House Literature Festival is a great part of London's literary calendar, and I really wanted to take part because my book Crusaders really ties together themes from Western European history, the history of the Near East, the Middle East, and as far east as Mongolia. So all of these themes come together, and I think it's a perfect fit for my book in this festival. I think I'm drawn to the medieval world because it's kind of right in the middle of being familiar enough such that you feel like you can relate to the characters, but also super weird in ways that occasionally just make you drop everything and go, that just blew my mind. And so it is this real tipping point between the feeling that the people I'm writing about are just like us and the people that I'm writing about are aliens from another planet. And I love that texture. Crusaders tells the story of the Crusades through the people who took part on all sides. So I was really keen that it wasn't a book that's just about dead white Frenchmen with big beards going off on adventures with their swords, but this is a book that's about plurality. It's about people from the Western and Eastern Church, it's about men and women, it's about Christians and Muslims, it's about Sunni and Shia Muslims, it's about Turks and Arabs. It's got this enormous range and expanse, and I think that's the only way that you can truthfully tell the story of the crusading experience. My aim, I guess, in my working life is a bit like, well, Bill Hicks used to say this, the great 1990s comedian. He never wanted to have a boss. And really early on in my life, I realized I can't work very well with other people or have a boss for any length of time. So for me, the best thing about being a writer is working on my own, to my own rules and more or less to my own schedule. And the worst thing about being a writer is working on my own, to my own rules, my own schedule, because it requires not so much just the discipline, because I'm quite disciplined as a writer, but an enormous amount of like resilience and resolve. And you have, when you're writing a book that's like 160,000 words long and can take anything between 8 months and 3 years, you have moments where you just think it's never going to happen, and no one else is really invested in the project, and you've got to find ways to keep yourself moving forward, keep assessing how good or bad your work is. So that's tough, but it's also something you can learn. It's something you can get better at, and it's something that is worth absolutely every tortured second. People have asked me to write fiction, historical fiction, and I can understand why, because the style I've tried to bring to writing narrative history takes a lot of its tropes and its mechanics and its architecture from fiction. It also borrows a huge amount from television structure, and I've written quite a lot of television. Fiction I find weirdly scary as a prospect, but not so scary I don't think I'll ever approach it. It's finding the right topic and finding the right moment, really. I've got a clear list of the non-fiction books I want to write, and I'm not that far away from the end of it. And so after that, maybe stepping out of the non-fiction department and into the fiction department is where I'll go, but not just yet. So once I've finished with Crusaders, I am doing another book with Marina Amaral, who is the Brazilian digital colorist who colorizes black and white historical photos. We did one called The Color of Time, that was in 2018. Next spring we've got a new one called The World Aflame, which is a history of the Long War, 1919 to 39. And it's looking even more astonishing than The Color of Time at the moment. So that comes next. And then I'm going to do another very big non-fiction book for a year or 2 years after that. But I'm still sort of working on the architecture and the shape and the stories within it. And I'm quite superstitious, so I'm not going to jinx it.